the thing that I'm most excited for is breaking down that stereotype with HR, with mental health. We're going to be having these conversations.
Today is going to be a little bit different. Welcome to the Plum Pod. Joining me is Georgia Dixon, the founder of Access HR. Georgia, welcome to the pod.
Thank you for inviting me.
So Georgia, we've known each other for a couple of months now. Mm-hmm. We first met virtually through LinkedIn.
Yes.
And that relationship just transpired into us sitting across the couch today.
Yes, it's evolved this year and we have had the most amazing experiences, all because of LinkedIn.
That's just so crazy.
Which is wild.
But it's wild, but I think that is also the true value of a social platform, right? So how do you take those relationships which are online to offline and then double down on the relationships and then off the back of it, do some magical things? One of the announcements, or we've done quite a few magical things already, to name a few. So you have joined our channel partnerships network.
I have.
We have also been on a pod together. So you were a guest on my pod.
Yeah.
And we are working on quite a few things, which I will announce shortly. But how has your experience been so far with Plum and everyone with Plum?
My experience with Plum is unlike any other. The one thing I will say about Plum is its people. So I've really got to know the team over our time of knowing each other. And that is what makes Plum at the end of the day. And that's what I absolutely love. But also the transformations that you guys are making in the HR and the mental health space. That is so deep for me personally as an HR professional, something I can really connect with. So it was a really natural relationship for us to form. And we've done the pod, we've done speaking together, and I just have such a good feeling for us.
Talking about good feelings. So the last event we were together at, so there was a channel partnerships event and you were one of the panelists. We had a panel discussion. And off the back of that, we started talking. And I floated an idea to you. So the idea really was to build a community, right? And today when we talk about, having the best product and the best service and so on, I think that should be a prerequisite anyway. But I think what's really important is how do you build trust? How do you build that connection? How do you build that community? And I don't think there's a better way today than sharing your stories and through content, especially audio and video content like a podcast. So the aspiration was, okay, how can we collectively as Plum build the number one HR and mental health related podcast in the UK? And of course, global domination is always an aspiration, which
always
should come into play. But yeah, starting off, focus is important, starting off from the UK and then the world. And the many levers to make that reality, to make that a reality. So we said, okay, we need our own studio. So here we are in our studio. Then we need our own production team. So we have our own production team now. And then the whole support staff around it as well. So we've built that as well. Then we need great conversations. We're fortunate that we have started building a name within the space. So we are able to get, great people to share their stories and knowledge and so on. I think the one fundamental or the key aspect to this entire equation is the host. So I was rattling my mind. I was like, okay, I really need to get somebody amazing. And that amazing, honestly, I didn't see that was me. Simply because I believe I'm an operator and I'm not someone from the HR space. And I felt that I wouldn't be able to truly justify or add value to the listener. And I think that's really important. So sometimes, you have to keep your ego in check. So take that step back and be honest and true to yourself first. And that's when I decided, okay, I need to find someone who I can somehow pass the baton to. But that's someone also who we can trust, who we've built a relationship. We're talking about community and building relationships. So first, I need to be able to build that relationship with that host. And someone who's also a subject matter expert, who understands the space, who is able to add value. And I couldn't think of a better person than you. So, Georgia, first of all, thank you so much for giving me that year and listening to me and accepting the proposal. And here we are.
Honestly, thank you for everything that we've had this year alone, but for this opportunity as well, because I completely agree. The best thing we can do is to build a community, educate and inspire. And you're right, nobody's talking about HR and mental health beyond the fixed box that it's in right now. And having those conversations is something that I wish I would have heard throughout my career and to boost my awareness as well. We are building the future on this podcast, and I cannot express my gratitude to now be the new host.
I love that. We have somehow come full circle if you think about it. Your first podcast appearance as a guest was on my pod.
It was.
And now 6 months down the line,
I know.
you're already hosting our podcast. Like, wow, that's just remarkable for me to see as well. So good on you.
I also think it shows how impactful we can be. So showing up every single day, the reason why we first met is because we were on LinkedIn. We were building thought leadership. We've now taken that online to offline. We're building an in-person relationship. And now we're having conversations that other people can listen to at the same time through the pod.
Absolutely. And I 100% resonate with what you just said previously, that you wish you had this space. So now you're taking action and you're building it. And I feel the same from a mental health perspective and now HR as well. I wish I had that support. So I just took, charge and I built it myself. And I think this is to all the people who challenge the status quo. I believe collectively we will be able to do that same effect in the HR and mental health space through this pod. So I'm super excited for 2025 and beyond.
Me too. And the thing that I'm most excited for is breaking down that stereotype with HR, with mental health. We're going to be having these conversations that are actually real life situations, real life conversations. And I just know our listeners are going to get so much value from our conversations. And honestly, 2025 is going to be huge.
Georgia, thank you so much for being on this journey with me and with all of us at Plum. And now you have become a part of Plum anyway. And, I'm just super excited for everyone listening as well. And hopefully you all follow us on this journey and we're able to impact each one of you in any way, shape or form.
This is honestly just the start. And if anything, just watch this space.
Just watch this space.